I'm just sharing it, so we're live.
Hey,
There we go.
Hey, we're live. I apologize, everyone, for I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes for people to join in, but um, thank you for coming on to Paranormal Brew. I have two people that Anthony here who started Phantasm, and when I had Bill on a couple weeks ago, and when he brought it up. You think Phantasm PH, but no, it's spelled with an F, and so forth. But um, Bill was talking about Phantasm, and I said, "Wait, what is this?" And I got very interested, and he started telling me about how I'm not gonna talk. I'll let you do all that talking, Anthony. But let's just start and go around and tell everybody, for those that are watching that don't know who you are, just kind of give a little background.
who started? Me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm Tony Greco. I'm the founder of Fantasm Orlando and the promoter. We are a third year haunt and horror convention this year, and we're a new horror convention in Orlando, Florida. We're hoping to build it up. We've got a paranormal track that Bill's the head of right now, so we're hoping to grow that. So thanks for having me on.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. This is so cool. Like I said, when Bill was on, and he was like talking about it and saying how, Phantasm Orlando, it's like a haunted, and it's a haunt, and it's this and it's that, and they want to bring the paranormal into it. And then I was telling you guys, before we came on, how I was like, wait a minute, Bill, isn't that already paranormal? Because you think haunt, you think paranormal. And now that I think about it, I have a couple of friends that actually do the Halloween haunted, like they dress up, they scary clowns and all this stuff. And that's when I started to realize that, wait a minute, these are two separate worlds, even though they're very similar.
Yeah.
The haunt community is huge. It's a huge community. It's just like the people that do like the roller coasters, the coasties and stuff, travel around and do that's all they do is go on roller coasters and stuff. They're haunted people that are haunted house people that do the same thing.
Bill, your wife's watching.
I see that from Brazil.
So okay, Phantasm, or Shelly, really quick. So Shelly, you just give a little synopsis of yourself. Bill, I want you to do that too, but then I want to get into how Phantasm came to be. And Phantasm Orlando, is there other Phantasms, or you're hoping for it to go out so you would have like a Phantasm jersey?
No, that's just where we started. I mean, like I said, we're only third year. If it grows, it grows. And that's a good idea that it can branch out to the different town names. But right now it's just Phantasm Orlando is the trademark.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Well,
go ahead, Shell.
No, I figured I'd do this because, man, I was like, let me just edge in. That way we could get into the fun, like the paranormal and the difference, because I'm excited about that too. But
yeah.
My name's Shelly. I've worked with independent filmmaking in Tampa. I produce films, and I've worked with other film festivals, specifically ones that are in Tampa, but I've gone to multiple horror conventions. I really love independent horror. And because of that, that's kind of led me back to Tony and some of the Phantasm group. They were nice enough to let me be part of the team last year, and I've really enjoyed this. We work on all like the independent film festival events, but also some of the fun events that involve filmmakers, including like panels, FX items, but also like your MST3K or Riff Tracks, or even your classic horror hosts, kind of some of those fun, bad movies that we just love entertaining. So all that's kind of incorporated with that.
So do you do the filming for all this stuff when this is going on?
No. So what the film festival is there's, I know it's kind of hard to imagine sometimes, but we all think of the big movies. We think of like what you see at Hollywood or what you hear about in Atlanta or Louisiana. And we sometimes forget that there are very low budget movies or very micro or no budget, and they can come out really creative. And sometimes it's people some of them are various degrees. So sometimes they just get up and take a camera and get their crew of people and come up with the most unique, weird, gory, creative stuff. Usually less budget means they're more creative. sometimes that's really good, sometimes whatever, but it's always good to see that. So there's actually in Tampa specifically, but even in Orlando and FSU and even in like UT and Miami, there's a big indie, even sometimes even underground community. Though we're not all just focused on Florida, since we do have a big community that we try and build up about that, but we are open to any country, any state. Last year we had ones from like Indonesia. We had
cool.
yeah, so we've had it all around the world as well as Florida. But there's a lot of indie horror groups and indie films that people don't necessarily watch because they don't know about it. How would you?
Right. Absolutely. So go ahead, Bill.
No, well, me,
I mean, I know you were just on. You were just on a couple weeks ago, but you can give everybody, you can just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we can all bring it together.
I've been a paranormal investigator for over 30 years. I'm also an educator. I travel around to the conventions and I do panels. I have a booth and we try to educate people, on the paranormal.
Also, can you please let everybody know what you were just, where you were just awarded, I would say?
Yeah, I was just awarded the regional director of the Southeastern USA for the Warren Legacy Foundation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
awesome. Congrats.
Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you. It's an honor. They're such great people. And, what they do is just carrying on Ed and Lorraine's, a legacy of going around and helping people, and have such a good group of people. So now I'm in charge of the whole Southeastern U.S. So I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. And helping out Phantasm.
Yeah,
well.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I just heard Southeastern U.S. That's huge, especially this is like probably not saying the biggest, but it's got a lot of,
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of juice behind it, right?
Yes, yeah. I think it's from like West Virginia down to Florida and Kentucky, and so it's definitely going to be interesting. I'm excited about it.
Good. I wish you nothing but the best because that's awesome.
Yes, thank you. And I was a guest at Phantasm last year, and that's how I got into it. I forget how I actually contacted was Roy through the site, I think, and we became friendly. And I started talking to everybody, and I was a guest there last year. And then after that one, thank you. After that one, I talked to them, and they kind of brought me on board a little bit to try to help build out the paranormal side a little bit.
Yeah, we were like, let's make this its own thing, its own, like the film festival is it's attached to Phantasm. It's Phantasm's film festival, but it's an independent film festival on its own. So it could take off and become its own thing, but it's always tied to us. The same thing with the paranormal track and Bill taking the reins of that, building that section of the larger whole of which is the conventions. You know what I mean? It's Phantasm's paranormal track that he's in charge of.
That's awesome. So ultimately, this started out as like a film festival.
Well, it was a convention with a film festival attached to it. It was a horror convention. Yeah, just like a standard convention would be, and then it had a film festival attached to it because horror movies are so big, and like Shelley was saying, independent filmmakers. Everyone started off as a Sam Raimi. In film school or doing something like that, and then it got big. So let's have a showcase for other filmmakers to showcase their horror or slasher pictures, low budget schlock movies. Why not?
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And you're also promoting and you're getting people's names out there, and like you said, people have to start somewhere, right?
Right. Exactly.
And you just hope that one person is that one person's there watching or listening or gets word of somebody and you can say, hey, they were at my event.
The film festival got a lot of good reviews and stuff from the first year and the second year especially. First year had to get its legs under it, and last year it got a lot of good feedback. So, and that's Shelley runs it very, very well.
Well, it's one of the good things. I appreciate that. But with that said, I think it's what Tony brought up for all of us. And Bill, I don't know if you feel like this yet, but the first thing I was told was they wanted to feel like an amusement park. Like there was
Right.
always something to do.
Yeah.
And what I have, and because I've gone to multiple conventions, I've gone to the geek, the horror, all sorts of different ones. I've noticed that even though paranormal, film festival, cosplayers, people who do, oddly enough, like even taxidermy things in the vendor room, they sound all separate, burlesque. They sound all separate. But what I've noticed is you have a lot of the same people that overlap.
Yeah.
So I, like my friends, their honeymoon, they made sure they went to a place where they could do a haunt experience. In
Right.
fact, one year we did a Valentine's thing at the Cuban Club. Now, is this the most whatever? But still, some
That's
people
cool.
are more interested. People talk about, hey, let's take a day trip to Casadega or something like that. They're
Right.
all the same people, kind of like the same thing. Maybe not everyone, but you'll see a lot of common bleed through. So this is just something more. And I think it's good about the paranormal, especially because even though there's always here and there's not like a full room or a track dedicated, at least in Florida. Maybe in something like Dragon Con, which is much larger in fan base. But like for paranormal, that's a big thing. I don't know how many times I've heard of groups, people who are interested in that. So that will keep building into this vibe that Tony and the team are trying to do with making it just more than just the convention, but a playground for all different types of people who share these things and overlap.
Right. So for those, and anybody can take this question, it doesn't matter, but for anybody that doesn't understand, because you had said something important, Shelley, you said for anybody that wants a haunt experience. So a lot of the people that watch are paranormal people, so they're automatically thinking, oh, you go there to get haunted. How is this not, so can you explain the difference between a haunt experience and like what, how it's separated? But it's really not separated. I agree with you. It's not. I think.
Go ahead. Finish. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was just saying that I think it's all in its own. I think it's all in its own bubble. All of it. Anyway, anything that has to do with anything, with this type of phenomena, whatever. Being scared, haunted by clowns coming. I'm sorry, but that's scary. I would much walk through Penhurst Asylum or something like that than have a scary clown chasing after me. No.
Yeah. Well, the haunt aspect of our convention is it's a horror convention that has a haunt at it. As far as we know, we're the only convention that's ever had a full build on-site haunt built at the convention inside the venue that the convention is at. We're not talking a pop-up scare room or an escape room or anything. This is a full build, haunted house inside. It's not pipe and drape. This is walled construction, right. Stuff like that. That's the haunt is another thing, like Bill and the Bill and the paranormal and the film festival. It's a separate thing that is at the convention, part of the convention. So another partner. So
is the convention built around the house?
No, the haunted house, the haunt is built inside the convention in one of the ballrooms.
Gotcha.
So last year was the first year we did it. We attempted it and pulled it off. This year it's gotten bigger. It's 2,000 square feet, almost 3,000 square feet inside convention space.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah. Last year was like a traditional, like a haunted house type thing with like there was kids disappeared and then there was murders and stuff and you go through the house and all that kind of stuff. This year it's called Voodoo-sance. It's Creole horror voodoo set in New Orleans.
Nice.
So it's going to change. It's gotten a lot bigger. So it's a separate thing from the convention, but it's at the con.
And it's awesome. A project. I watched them set it up last year. That was a big project.
This is what interested me because you're right. I have never heard of anywhere, any convention, no matter what it is, that has ever had an actual, like haunt that you could go through, which I think is awesome.
It was a lot of work to pull off, a lot of, behind the scenes phone calls, regulations, stipulations, things like that. And it was tireless work for the people that put it on. I know Courtney and his team and Jimmy, all those guys with, the company's called the Nightmare Chamber. and it's a collaboration of 2 or 3 different haunt companies working together to pull this off. So they busted butt last year and got it done. They were some tired guys, but it worked.
And they went above and beyond. Trust me. If you saw them the day of, bolting up and like still doing things, it was so scary. It's like weird going into place and you see things built at conventions beforehand, but
Not
seeing
like this.
people like full on, like, yeah, I'm doing a full on, like, are you building a set? Because it feels like you're building a set, and that's really what they're doing. They're building a set in a short period of time.
Right. When you went into the ballroom, that it was like, you know, it looks just like the ballroom doors. You open the doors, and the inside of that was the front of a house. I mean, they could have filmed on it. It looked like the front porch of a house, and then you went through all the rooms, and it was a full house.
I would love to see that.
Yeah,
that sounds so awesome. That sounds so cool.
I've seen the plans for this year, and I know the idea behind it. I can't wait to see it fully realized.
So were you guys into the paranormal, or were you guys just into that whole slasher movie theme type thing, and like this is something you've always wanted to do? Or
I like horror movies. I'm a slasher guy. I grew up on Jason, you know, stuff like that. I love Poltergeist. That's my favorite of a paranormal movie. The original Poltergeist. That's what people like. Amityville. People like, you know, Poltergeist. I think I watched that on HBO every single time it was on as a kid. That was my thing. But I'm more so the Creature in the Black Lagoon, Jason, Michael, stuff like that. The paranormal just folded in. We knew somebody, and we're like, hey, everyone loves this. Let's fold it in. Let's make it work. Let's
and
grow
the paranormal community is huge. It's huge.
Right.
And they do a lot to give back, and you know what I mean. So it's awesome to help raise money in any capacity, whatever that may be,
Right?
You know, or whatever that is. You know,
I've always been a huge horror fan. I mean, you can see behind me, you know, Sam sitting back there. But I've always been a horror fan, so I was excited to be, you know, part of it this year. Like, what was very different to me, I've been to a lot of conventions before. What was very different is, like they were saying, it's more of an interactive thing. I mean, you had a walk through haunted house. You know, there was an escape room last year. There was, you know, all different types of things.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that's why this year, like, I got them to bring Kelly, who was up on the thing there before. Kelly's coming down from New Jersey with all her haunted items, and she's going to have a whole booth.
That up and
have a couple panels, and people could come and bring their stuff to see what she thinks of their haunted items, to make it a little interactive.
Oh my God, that sounds like Antique Roadshow, but for haunted items.
Yes. Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
There used to be a show, Haunted Collector. It was John Zaffis, and he had a show, Haunted Collector. He would go and help people, and if he would remove the item, you know, it was, you know, things would get better. I said one day, and he would walk out with the coolest stuff. So I busted his balls at one of the conventions. I said, you know, Uncle Johnny, I said, one day you're going to walk up to my house, you're going to see a Lamborghini. You're going to be like, I've deemed your Lamborghini a haunted item. I'm going to have to take it.
Yeah, he had a collection.
Yeah, totally.
Oh man.
So what does actually go behind all this? Like, and you can't have the escape room, and I guess because the haunted house is so big.
No, we had an escape room as well.
You couldn't do them together, like you couldn't keep it.
Yeah, the haunt was in one room, like a specific, we call it a panel room or a ballroom, and then the escape room was. I mean, you could do them in a tent. You got to get the fire marshal approval and all that for the tent and all that stuff. But just outside of that room where the haunt was taking place, there was an escape room built, and again, it was wood walled. It was not a tent, you know, with pipe and drape or anything. This was a room you went into. So yeah, we had one. I'm just saying, when I describe the haunt, it's not that. There can be those as well, but the haunt is a full construct.
Yeah. So people. All right. So I'm gonna come to Phantasm. What am I paying for? Are there different packages? Are there different? Is it just one day?
No, it's 3 days. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's the 19th through the 21st of August this year. It's at the DoubleTree at Universal, so it's right close to Universal Studios.
They do shuttle service. So if you decide you want to make a little trip do a long weekend, that's the time to do it.
Yeah, there's also the walkway straight from the hotel over the road to, it's a walk, but I mean, you can get there if you needed to.
Yeah.
But there's different packages. The weekend pass it's $55 at the door for a weekend pass, and then there's different, and then different throughout. If you go 1 day, 2 days, 3 day, there's a VIP package. You get some swag with that. You get early entrance into the shows, preferred seating, things like that. So there's different levels of going, and we're not trying to gouge. It's
$55, like a $55 for all 3 days is amazing. That's awesome.
And the good thing is, it's not just like you said. There's the film festival. We have if someone is more into like the slashers, the horror movie celebrities, we have those. Tony, name some. You're better at naming them all. He remembers them all much better than I do. But name a few of the big ones. And then, we have a huge dealer room that has so much creative stuff. It's fun. But then we have the burlesque shows. And
I love those.
Yeah, we have burlesque shows this year. I mean, they've come back from the previous 2 years as well. And then for the celebrities, we have, I don't know if you watched the Fear Street movies on Netflix that just came out last October, based on the R.L. Stine book series.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
We have the Nightwing Killer, which was from the camp sequences in that. Skull Mask, Ruby Lane, which is the razor blade killer woman, and then the Milkman. So we have the 3 major killers from the Fear Street film series coming. We had a big Halloween reunion last year with a lot of the Michael Myers and Tom Atkins and Stacey Nelkin. But this year we have Don Shanks from Halloween 5. We have Chris Duran from H2O. The first time they tried to skip all the other sequels and do a direct continuation of Halloween.
But they did it at the wrong decade. That's the problem. They did it at that time period.
They did it at 20, and then they did it again at 40. So, and then we have Aaron Armstrong, who played in Halloween Kills last year. He was the flashback Michael from the flashback sequences that went back to that original night when they captured him. So that's some of the headliners that we have so far. There's more people coming. Awesome. We have some zombies from Dawn of the Dead. I'm sorry. The Hare Krishna zombie and Scope zombie. We have Mike Christopher and Bob Michelucci coming. And then Bob's wife was in the 30th anniversary of Night of the Living Dead. She was Zombie Mom.
Oh.
So they added her into it. And Bob did a lot of the original merchandise for Dawn of the Dead when it came out. He was a designer for a lot of the merch there. So, but we got more guests coming and stuff like that. So we have also authors.
Yeah, I was going to say Al is coming back, but there's a bunch of different authors, and a lot of them I think are not only the horror authors, that most are independent, or you may have heard Jeff Strand, who just won a Bram Stoker Award. He's one of the authors. I always miss. Is it Going Back? I mess up. Yeah, he's a great author. And I've read some of his books. He's so it's but there's like maybe 10. I don't know. I'm not the author person, so I apologize, but there's like a good amount of horror authors. So what they're trying to do is trying to do something a little bit for every type of person who might come. Someone who likes a bunch of reading and like books and authors in this creative world, or even starting to be one of those. Someone who likes the filmmaking. So there's even panels and paranormal. There'll be panels or interactive experience. So if you're interested, but maybe don't know that much, maybe you could talk to these people that will help you out, or know some experience or something to help just bridge that idea and prompt it. And I've usually had the most fun learning from other people or walking into a panel I didn't think I was going to like, and then it turned out to be the best panel. So
yeah,
it's like that. Sorry, Tony, you don't mean to interrupt.
Sometimes something that could be a time killer turns out to be, just something to do. I don't have nothing to do for a half hour. I'll pop in and see this, and you end up missing the thing you wanted to go see because you're interested in this.
So is there is it just like the people that have made these films, or just have tables set up and people are going around and meeting the people, and you know what I mean?
Autographs and photos.
Mm-hmm. And
then, for the film festival specifically, is there the ability to mingle with them? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like is it like just like a like a meet and greet and stuff like that too?
Celebrities.
For people and everything.
Yeah,
For the celebrities.
but I think she's specifically meaning like for the film festival. Is it just for the filmmakers, or can anybody go in?
And this is same with the author panel or the paranormal. I'm sure it's open to anyone who wants to go to any of these. And most of them, there are always like little moments, I'm sure, with any of our different heads. Sorry, my Italian hands move way too quickly.
Oh, I do. I'm like this all the time.
Okay.
I'm sitting on mine.
Yes, I was wondering. So yeah, we all have these we're all having probably little meet and greets, little gatherings, things that make it interactive. So it may be different for each group, but it does not mean that only a filmmaker. If you're just a person that came in and cosplay and you wanted to learn about paranormal stuff, you could go up to something in Bill's room or the setup Bill has. And I'm sure he has enough things that people will be able to socialize. Same with my room and same with the authors. I know I've done it plenty of times where I've just gone up to people, sometimes, usually the authors, but some other ones where you just go up to their table. And yeah, it's pretty simple. So between the rooms and the tables, it's very much able that people can interact and mingle and socialize. Sorry, Tony. I keep interrupting. I keep running.
There's a lot of mix too. Like a lot of people don't know. Two of my teammates, Sarah Brooke and Benjamin Etheridge, are both novelists. They're like Ben has won the Bram Stoker's Award for Best New Horror Novelist when he first started, I think it was, and they both have at least 10 novels. They're best-selling authors on Amazon. You know, so awesome. They'll be there too.
That's great.
As far as interaction too, like the vendor room is huge. It's got a lot of people. Last year there was so many things down there. And my wife has she's a vendor. She has all her candles and crystals. And this year she can be a little more interactive because she has an aura reading machine. So she's got that now and she's been using that and it's real popular. And it's more interactive. You know, people come up, they got things to do, you know.
I think I might have to disappear and go by her little, or now that I know that, now I gotta go stop by there. I bought something from them like just at the last minute because it's mostly my room, but I was like, oh my God.
So like at paranormal conventions, and I don't know if either of you have been to any, but they'll have lectures. They'll have people that get up and when I say lectures, somebody will get up there and just talk about whatever. That you don't have that stuff. Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so there is that stuff going on.
Yeah,
I'll call them panels. We don't call them lectures necessarily.
Yeah, we don't call them lectures either. They hate that word, but I don't know what else to call it. So just say it.
I usually do at least 3. Kelly's going to be doing 3, talking about her items over the weekend, and hopefully some other, that will be all paranormal related.
So I was going to say this. Listen. You don't have to do it. I'm just throwing it out there. Brian Cano has a traveling history of the paranormal museum. It's a mobile exhibit. I don't know how many states he's gotten to, but he's trying to do all the states and everything like that. So sure, he's already been to Florida, but that's just an idea to throw out there to have like another exhibit, paranormal wise. And he's been on TV. He's been on Paranormal Caught on Camera. He was with John Zafish, at the Haunted Collector. So it's a name to draw the paranormal crowd, besides Bill. I'm not saying Bill's not drawing anybody, but I mean, he's somebody it's another name to
I believe that was a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take that. No.
Well, that's what some of the guests that have come in the paranormal area have been brought to our attention from Bill. Yeah. And then, hey, these guys would be good, or this person would be good. And then, he vets them through us. Like, I personally don't know a lot of the paranormal people, so I would trust him to.
There's also somebody else I know that's trying to get back into the scene and wants to kind of get set up with stuff with that. And that's Christopher Quarantino. He was the youngest boy that lived in the Amityville house. In real life, his name is Lutz, but.
Right.
Yes. What is that? No. That's a no. I never know. I'm sorry.
That sounds like a quick fade switch to the next topic.
It's an off the air conversation. But
sorry.
No. It's all good.
I know nothing. No ente.
No, it's nothing like that. Nothing like that. But I have something that I didn't even talk to Tony about yet. Another person that I need to talk to him about after this.
Okay.
Look, see, you're nicer.
That's a
He's
hard
nicer.
no.
Bill's nicer than the rest of us because all the women be like thinking it's like, this is the time, just ambush him in. But Bill's nice. He's not going to do like, let me just ambush you on air and then sucker you into something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that was just something else that popped in my head.
No. It's I'll explain it later.
It's all good. But Brian Cano, anyway, is that's somebody maybe you could reach out to, and just see if he would be willing to do that one, if not this year, next year. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you also have to consider that some of these people, like, I don't know if Brian does, I'm not sure, but some of them, they get paid to show up to places. So that's another thing when you start, so.
Well,
that comes with the territory. That's not everyone does, not everyone's, can do it, and travel too. I mean, it costs money to do these things. So
but it's Orlando. It's like, who doesn't want to go to Florida?
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
I mean,
Florida's scaring people right now.
I would say it is, and it's so weird. It's like funny, the parts of the places. Like, I've gone to Ohio for a convention, and it was a small convention, horror movies. But I had someone's like, "Oh, you're from Florida?" It's like, "What do you mean I'm from Florida?" It's like
everybody in Ohio thinks that everybody else is like, because I lived in Ohio for 3 years.
Well, what's worse is, oh my God, why is his name Tony? The name is lost. Reanimator, director. Why am I forgetting the name? You know it.
Stuart Gordon?
Huh?
Stuart Gordon?
Yeah, his wife. When I met her, she's like, "Oh, you're from Florida." Like us. Like, I'm sorry, you're from Florida. When I was like, where do you think? It's like, hey guys, all nuts roll downhill.
Exactly. That's the only reason why I wouldn't move to Florida, because everybody in New Jersey's moving down there.
Well, wait, see, that's the thing. I'm from New Jersey. And
I was gonna say, my friends,
I get from everybody else, you live in Florida, but then when I'm down here, everybody down here goes, "You're from New Jersey?" So I can't win. I got both of them.
Well, I'm from upstate New York originally, but I've been down here since.
Tony, aren't we all? What part of upstate New York are you from?
Cortland, farmland.
Rome. I was
I moved down here in 81. I moved to Tennessee for 3 years and then moved back.
Oh, wow.
But
you're in New York. You're where? In Orlando now?
No, we're actually the Tampa Bay area, Braden and Sarasota.
Okay.
That's where the company's based out of, but the events in Orlando.
Because Orlando, no offense, has a lot more fun people here, Orlando, and all they think of Disney, Universal, all the parks. It's a bigger draw, even though,
yeah.
The last time I was at Tampa, I remember I was in Ybor City, and I was there for Gasparilla.
Oh, what year?
Oh, it was a while. It was a long time ago.
Day or night parade?
Like many years ago. Was
it the night parade? Because that's a whole other
pirate thing or something.
Yeah,
it's a pirate festival. It reminds me of like Mardi Gras, like New Orleans, because you're just walking down.
So here's the thing. Yep. It's like a month-long activity. It's not just that. It's like every week there's like 3 parades. Mm-hmm. There's a day parade, a kids parade, a night parade. There's a run. There's an art show, a film festival. They do there is like a music festival. They do something for the whole like month and a half around that.
Pub crawls, all that kind of stuff.
Really? The whole month?
Constant. Yeah.
Wow.
Wait till you hear the best part of the story. There's not really ever been the pirate invasion. We made it up 100 some odd years ago to kind of lure the same people who like Mardi Gras, kind of like, let's make this our Mardi. It's So the whole day parade where they like, you hear the cannons fire and all that fun stuff, and they come in. It's just a fun recreation of a story that never really happened that way.
Right. I mean, who celebrates pirates invasion? You know what I mean?
It's a drink.
It's been a good thing.
Yeah, it's a drinking thing.
All right, so I have a question. What about somebody from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Or was that remember they made the book out of the movie out of the book?
Yeah.
What did you guys watch the movie?
I did.
Oh yeah.
I have not seen it yet. Actually, I know the kids wanted to see it, and we just have not got around to it yet. So, is it good?
I liked
Is it
it.
good? I know.
I liked it.
My kids watch all. They're into Stranger Things and zombies, and my daughter more than anything. My littlest daughter, she loves that stuff. She's she puts on the tough front. It gets to her a little bit, but for the most part, she loves it because she knows Daddy likes it. You know what I mean?
Aww.
She knows I've done the makeups and stuff. I've done full bub prosthetics from Day of the Dead and things like that. So she looks at it and she goes, "You could do that. I've seen you and stuff like that." She gets it.
When I was little, I used to watch all these movies with my I used to laugh, and I used to watch them all, and they never bothered me. And then all of a sudden, Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel comes out. That ruined me for I can't even watch it. Like, I couldn't eat soup for 2.5 weeks. I couldn't eat pizza for 3 weeks.
From that one?
Oh my God. I don't know why. I was like pacing back and forth. I was like, I can't watch these movies anymore. What is wrong with me? So Wrong Turn I watched for about 5 seconds, and I was like, oh no.
Well, you didn't even see the second. You should have gone to the second one. The second one would have been better. It would have made you laugh at least.
It literally, Wrong Turn I saw for like 5 seconds, and I said that scarred me for life. Now I'm just like, I'm like, there's
See, none of that bothers me after doing all this for real. That doesn't scare me.
What do you mean, like doing like all the haunt stuff?
Yeah. Well, I've been from the cases I've done, and even the demonic cases and everything.
Like Wrong Turn people, they like do freaky stuff to your dead body and everything. I'm not even like about that. I'm like, oh no, I will kill myself before I would. Oh God.
That's not even that bad.
Those people like that really exist.
You know what you really have to worry about is when you've watched enough movies like me. I like a lot of horror movies from like European, especially Italian, but I like all European horror movies, especially around the 70s and 80s. And what you learn is, no matter what you think you thought was messed up, just let the Germans from like 1970s to like 1990, like that time, something happened and they were dealing with it. Because I don't know how many movies I've seen that either have some weird, like just weird. Maybe that's the best way. Not like normal weird, but like, hey, let's hammer and nail your genitals, and like it's like,
oh
it's
yeah,
like, why do I need that?
See, I can't even watch stuff like that anymore. I'm such a baby.
Nah.
Watch the Asian horror movies.
Oh
yeah, some of them.
Like The Ring. You're talking about like The Ring and all them, like all that.
Well, no, the real Asian ones.
Oh, you're talking about like
I'm good.
Like American, like old guinea pig ones, and like
Martyrs and
Martyrs is like one of the new French, the French extreme. But one of my first ones I saw.
If she doesn't like Texas Chainsaw, a mainstream Hollywood American movie, she's not gonna watch the guinea pigs.
No, the name alone is giving me nightmares.
Well, you wouldn't anyway.
Yeah,
but it has a notorious reputation. It's the movie back in the day that like Charlie Sheen called I don't know if it was FBI, some reporting that he thought it was real snuff films. So,
yeah.
Wow. Remember that that was that movie that came out. That was the first time I heard about snuff films, was when what was that? Oh my God.
Oh, 8 millimeter.
8 millimeter.
Oh, 8 millimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater with two of my guy friends, and it's one of those ones where you sit on the edge of the seat, and I looked over and I go, "Do you just feel bad even being in here watching this?" You know what I mean? I just feel gross.
I know, because
but it was good. You couldn't take your eyes off it. It was good. Yeah. And then the ending, you're just like,
right.
And it's like it was one of those things where we walked out of the theater going, that was really, really good. But if you buy this movie, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Please don't say that.
How many copies you got?
You own it.
I only have one. I say this because I do agree with you on that statement, but it wasn't that movie. For me, it was like the one movie I watched that like it, which was The Limit. And that was when I knew, even if there were interesting movies that looked interesting, if it hit this limit, something like necromantic, and it wasn't even that. It's German, so that kind of says it all.
There's two of them, right? There's two of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch the second, but the first one, yes. When you watch something, and at
two?
some point, again, this was German.
They're above the limit.
Yeah, but it was like at some point, it's a bad, grainy copy I got from a bootleg place in
That makes it
Tampa.
worse.
Huh?
That makes it worse. If it's harder to see and grainy and it has the tracking
Oh
lines.
no, it does make, and then it has this. How can I put this in a gentle way? It's about necromantic. You know, you get the title.
Mm-hmm.
A threesome with a fake decaying, what it sounds like. And again, I'm watching it. I know it's all fake. You can obviously tell. But as I'm watching, it's like, there is something messed up with me for sitting through this whole movie.
Hold on a second. I'm going to make you feel better because I sit there and watch the movies and I'm like, who comes up with this shit? Like, who literally sits down and writes this scene right now?
And then they went to a studio, and the studio said, "Okay, we'll give you money. We'll make it."
Yeah. Like who? Like it's like
I always said they always used to say, "Oh, the people that watch these movies, you got to watch them. There's something wrong with them." No, they got to watch the people who come up with these ideas in the movies. Not so much the ones that are like us watching it. It's the ones who came up with this idea that we're like looking at it like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
They don't really bring them up though. They don't really bring them. They'll bring them up like, "Oh, it's a depraved movie," but they don't ever bring up, well, who wrote it or why'd they write it and why'd they fund it and why did he film it and
how.
Right.
Like, how did it get that far? Like Human Centipede. How did it get to where it got to? How did that movie?
Wait,
let
I
me
haven't even seen the second one because I know that's even grosser than the first. And the first is okay, but it's more like how can I put it? Classier version than what second and third come out to be.
The first one is nothing.
I lasted a minute.
The first one is nothing. The second
one's classy.
The second one is a completely different experience. It's the way they did it, in my opinion, is amazing. I mean, it's a really out there movie, but the way they did it is amazing. They took something from the first one and completely changed it, and they shot it in black and white. And the guy they got to be the main character was one of the creepiest people I've ever seen in my life, just this normal guy. And it took it to a whole nother level that made that movie. It made the first one look like Disney. Yeah, it was really nuts.
Oh.
So when you were younger, what was the type of movies that you enjoyed watching with your grandmother, grandfather?
Grandfather, yeah. No, all the slashers, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Sleepaway Camp.
Oh,
what else? There was like so many. I was so into all that stuff, and then boom, one day I became a pussy. I don't know what happened. I woke up one day and I was like, I can't even do this. Like I'll just stick to Casper movies. Like that's it. I'm done. What happened to me? I don't know what happened.
Well,
I love Michael Myers, so I'm like, I love Michael Myers.
Well, I always said, we were talking about this when I was on last time. One of the only movies when I was young that really freaked me out was The Exorcist, and now look at me. So I don't know how you progress from that to this.
And then that's the thing. The Exorcist didn't scare me at all. Like it's not even in my top 5 favorite movies. And a lot of people that come on my show and stuff, they're always say, "Oh, Amityville Horror," or they always bring up the and for me, The Entity scared me more than anything. Oh, wow. Still does.
Yeah.
Still does.
Good one. I haven't seen that one in a long time. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. But yeah, no. So I love the movies that used to anyway. And now I'm just like, okay, I'll watch, M. Night Shyamalan. That's as far as I'll go. M. Night, because he gets some of the zombie movies are starting to freak me out a little bit because I feel like people are starting to head towards that direction, and I'm like, this could really happen.
Here's one you can watch if you have streaming. It's got zombies, but it's more funny. And it's kind of more like it's got a second. It's kind of popular, but One Cut of the Dead. So reason why is It's kind of this weird little, it's an Asian film, Japanese, I believe. And it's really fun. But like for the first 30 minutes, it's got no cuts, which is unique, but you think it's one thing. And then after that 30 minutes, you really find out that it's something else. So basically you think it's just a cheap, whatever little zombie thing. But what ends up happening is you find out the behind the scenes about what it is. So then when you see the things that happened in the first 30 minutes, you now see it from a different perspective. But there's a lot of comedy, a lot of funny things in there. So that one is where you can enjoy. But if you're kind of not wanting the like a lot of the creepy things, that would be like the fun, what I would say as an entry level for someone who doesn't like, who likes some scary but not much. Usually, horror comedies are usually the best things for those people because not everyone likes the same things. So
right.
Yeah.
I love vampire movies like The Blade. I like The Blades and 40 Days a Night. And
so are you going to see the new Blade when it comes out?
Yes, I have to. But you know it's not going to be the same.
Well, also, yeah, decade-wise, but they do have a good actor, so we'll see how it goes out.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes played that role, so it all
he did. That I will say that.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
really good.
He's got to be in it somewhere. They've got to go.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll do something.
Yeah, they were really thinking on that.
Yeah.
Tony, so just kind of like when does this thing start getting put together? August. I mean, like is it already started?
Phantasm? The
planning,
and all that stuff. Yeah.
Months and months and months ago. It's been underway for a long time. Basically, when you have one, because like we finished the last year, and then we had, you take a month, you have ideas in your head of what worked, what didn't work, what do we got to change. You regroup a little bit, you think of things differently. Take about a month or so off and just relax. And we did change venues this year, so that was a process. But yeah, it's usually within a month or two after the other show, you start planning the next one. So it's been going more or less steady since the last one ended. So but right now we've got 2 months to go, so it's go time right now.
Yeah. Now, is that what you do? You guys are doing every day? Are you going there every day? Or are you kind of?
No, we actually got to walk through a couple times this coming month up with different people. It's hard to go up there. Most of the times, like the event coordinator and stuff has been at that hotel before. He knows where everything is. We went and checked it out. We pretty much had it laid out in his mind anyway by the time we left that day. And then it's, this will go good in this room. This will go good in that room. But yeah, it's ready to go. We got everything laid out this year.
It's a good place.
It's a nice place.
Walk me through it quick. So I walk in and now do you have people that are running around up and scaring people and stuff like that? And while people are walking around,
we don't on staff have anyone that does that, but there's people in costume walking around. I'm sure the haunt guys, the people that are putting the haunt on, they have some of their characters walking around interacting with people and stuff. Most of them will be in the haunt or just out front of it. But there's photo ops set up out there. Like there might be a facade of, I'll just throw out an example, like the kids from Halloween 3, the trick-or-treaters last year. We had a photo op out there. We have the staff that is all marked. You can tell who's working at the convention by their shirts and badges and things like that. It's just you'd walk in, you see everyone walking around. Probably right when you first get in there, you walk straight into registration where you get your tickets, like a will call counter, and they're there the whole time that the convention is open, that the dealer's room is open. And you've got the main events room, which is where the stage and all the seating is for the big shows. And then you have the haunt on one side. And we are going to be having an art show this year. It's a full-on art show, horror art show. And that's, I'm making the announcement right here. So
nice.
We didn't have it last year. So that's going to be there.
So now is it a specific art or is it just anybody that can paint and draw?
Anybody that can come in and wants to display their art, and there's going to be like, silent auctions if you want, or prints for sale or things like that. So it's all the individual artists that are having their works on display. There's a
So why am I not, man, why am I working this con instead of attending it as a guest? Because I can see my money go, disappear.
Because you're so damn good at it, Shelley.
Yeah. Wait, I picture Shelley walking around like, remember the movie Scrooged? And the guy, the director that came in when Bill Murray kind of like lost it. He had that big thing. He's walking around. He's like, "Let's take five, everybody." Let's
Yeah.
Now that you said that, I think I might need to rewatch that tonight.
I've got to say though that everybody that's working on the show and working at the show, from the department heads to the volunteers to the staff that are on under the department heads that are full-time staff, they all bust their ass for the show, and I have to give them a shout out. Every single person, from the people stuck at the registration desk all day, to the people that are running around, with the event coordinator and helping me out and helping Shelley, from the photographers, from everybody that works there.
And the security
it's a great
that are making sure everyone's safe.
Yeah.
Right, because we have staff. We can't say security necessarily, but that's what they are, so it's technically our security people, our people that if something was to happen, they would be the ones to help you. Everybody's busting ass. So we have let me tell you,
last year I was just a guest. As a guest, well taken care of. The place was very well organized. I was real impressed with how everything went. I mean, like I said, we were taken care of really great, and made me want to be part of it and help more and do stuff, because it was run really well, and it was very different from most conventions. But kind of like what Shelley was saying, it's tough because when I go to all these conventions and I'm a guest, I'm sitting here trying to figure out, okay, who's going to watch my booth a minute while I run and grab this autograph? Or I have to go down and try to go through the haunted house, or, that's the hard part.
Right. And that's the hard part also, is because, there's always something to do at any given time, and you want to do it all, but you can't. So you got to pick and choose. And that goes from the attendees as well, not just guests that are there.
Right.
Yeah.
But
so true. Yeah. I mean, I work with Ghostly Excursions, and they do big events and stuff like that. And they did a Penhurst Paracon one year, and we were working that. And Ghost Hunters was there, and all these people are there, and they're doing hot. And they have this one hanging from his skin, from chains over here. There's fire dragons over here, and I'm taking ghost tours into the tunnels, and I'm missing everything. And I'm like, what the heck? Even though I was having fun doing what I was doing, we were missing everything, missing the lectures, missing everything because we were working it,
Yeah, like when we do our panels, we usually do the panel. We come out of a panel, everybody follows us to the booth. I'm there, so many people come up asking us questions, showing us photos, telling us their stories, and it gets overwhelming sometimes. You can't get to go and run around and do too much, depending on the crowd and how interested they are.
I do have to ask, especially and I'm sorry, Taryn and Bill, I just wonder, because you work with you're doing a lot of paranormal work, and you talk to these people, I don't know how else to explain this, but does it become draining emotionally, not just because you're talking to a lot of people, but just because of the type of work or type experience and interactions you're having?
It sometimes, I mean, normally no, because I love talking about it and I do love educating people on it. But sometimes it can be overwhelming. I was just at MegaCon. That was overwhelming. When we came out of the one panel room, half the panel came to the booth, and I had two of my team members there, and we were talking to everybody, and all of a sudden I look and I'm like, we have 4 minutes to the next panel. So, and there was nights where they were closing up and we were closing things and covering stuff, and I still had 10 people at the booth that wouldn't leave, that were just talking, and I don't mind, but yeah, when I left MegaCon, I was definitely emotionally drained.
I think that only happens to me when if I'm doing like a weekend of investigating or going to different, because you're just like, your energy, you're pumped all weekend, and you're going into different locations and picking up on different things and this, that. And then I call it a paranormal hangover for like 3 days. You feel like you've been run over by a truck.
Yeah. I did that. It was like a year or so ago. We went we got an invite to Yesteryear Village over here at the Riddle House and everything, and we were there all night until I don't know when it was that they closed and let us out, and then we went from there to another place that I was allowed to get into, and we were there until like 4 a.m. The next day we were just
You're exhausted. You're
wiped
exhausted.
out.
Yeah. So, I love it, and I'm excited that you're bringing the paranormal into it, and hopefully one day, I'll be a guest there. You know what I mean? And when I say guest, I mean a patron coming in and checking everything out. I would love to see the burlesque stuff. I love that stuff.
I think it's really cool, Tony, because they do a lot of, like, Tony probably knows more. Again, or maybe Jamie probably more, who's the head of our main events, but they do a lot of, they incorporate the horror elements within it. So it's not just regular, like, burlesque, right, Tony? It's usually something interacting, those performances, and kind of like, I didn't get to see any because, again, I was working in my room last year, but I do know they did a lot that looked, I was like, man, I wish I could have seen that, because that would have been, I like horror movies and I like burlesque. It's like merging like two worlds together.
Well, they'd be like, what's that, Bill?
No, go ahead.
Oh, they do, like, there's the troupe that will do like the Bill and Ted's going back in time, and they'll go to the different times and interact with slashers from the different times. So it's a musical, and then you mix, Bill and Ted sci-fi in, time travel in with horror. And then this year they have a vampire dating game. So it's set up like a dating
right
game.
up my alley.
Yeah, so they change it up. Yeah,
the one thing that I also, and Tony, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know this year, but
you're
last
wrong.
year, no, probably no. Last year, one of the things that really attracted me that was different is when you go to a normal convention, even say like MegaCon, 7:00 convention's over, and everybody leaves. There were things going on until like 1, 2 in the morning last year.
2 in the mornings are closed typically.
Yeah. It's not like your normal convention.
Yeah.
Wow.
After when I say after hours, it's just the dealer's room closes at 7 or 8, typically, and then there's still shows going on. Like there'll be films in the film festival going till late night. There's the burlesque going to late night. If there's a party that'll go, it's on
Rocky Horror last year,
right?
Yeah. And then there's also, like, we actually have performances of last year I think we had Kilted Creature, and there are some other ones we've had. So what they try and do, at least Tony can probably speak a little more, but what I noticed from both my content and what the main events was, is trying to be in the evening after the dealer room closed, because it's the dealers and the celebrities and usually where you buy all the fun stuff and all that, is to try and kind of make it like the nighttime fun events. So there'll be, there's gaming, there's all sorts of these little fun things that could be, depending on what you like, you could do. So it's not like, hey, if you don't want to do burlesque, you have nothing, watch burlesque, you have nothing to do. You're just going to eat for whatever. There's something else to do, but it's not all just like low. We know at nighttime, people want high energy, high fun, something that interactive and still has that energy. So again, it's bringing back that whole amusement park vibe of tons of stuff. So
yeah,
it sounds
being in a public space that's like a hotel, it's easier to do that. Something like MegaCon, which is a convention hall, convention center, they got to lock up, they got to clean the carpets, they got to do all that stuff. It's not a public space like a hotel that will let you stay there at night.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love it. Now, really quick, the different things, are they separate from you have like admission? Is anything extra besides the VIP? I know the VIP would probably be more money, but as far as
the haunt is an extra charge, but it's not like another whole $50 ticket. It's like $10. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And then I think there's different packages, because it's a separate entity from us that's just doing it at the show. So that's a little bit extra, but it's negligible. It's not, and they might even have a package. I don't know this year if they did a package to where it's maybe 15 for all day, go through it as many times as you want. I'd have to check with that. But stuff like the burlesque shows and things like that, they're typically, included with the price. Now, some of them might charge a little bit extra or have a tip jar or something
Right.
like that for tipping the performers.
Was
Hey, they're going
last
up there
year-
and taking it all off for you. Throw them a couple
Yeah,
bucks.
right.
You know?
Jeez.
Last year they had the Dark Carnival. Was that extra? I don't even remember.
The Dark Carnival?
Phantasmagoria.
Oh, Phantasmagoria.
Yeah.
I don't remember because I didn't actually make it in there. I was running around too much. So I don't remember.
Hear the moral. Everyone was running around.
Yeah, everyone's running around.
They were across from me at MegaCon. That's why I was talking to them because I didn't get a chance to see them. I couldn't do anything at Phantasm.
Right.
I was stuck up there talking to everybody. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and you were at the front of a hallway too, so everyone had to walk past you. So
yeah, I had the entrance to where all the panel rooms were and the film festival. So
you were like in the money spot.
Right. Yeah, you had to walk right past us.
That's awesome.
And it was on
because I bought stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on 2 levels last year of the hotel. The convention space was the main vendor hall and everything was, and main was on the bottom, and then up top you had the film festival and then some panel rooms and then Bill's area. This venue is all 1 level. So
yeah,
there's no one's gonna miss anything. You gotta walk by everything.
That's awesome. Real quick, where can people go buy tickets?
PhantasmOfficial.com.
PhantasmOfficial.com. I'm gonna put that in the comments.
FAN.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the reason it's Phantasm is because it is what Fantasm Orlando, what Tony told me right off the beginning. It's because it's about the fans. This is all about the fans. That's kind of the whole thing. We're all fans, but Tony wanted this to be a fan experience, like how any person could enjoy it, that it's made for the fans and not like, you feel that community vibe. Kind of like how I'm sure you are part of like your paranormal community. There's a group of almost like a family vibe. That's kind of what we want to bring to this, that it's no matter what we do, it's all for the people who are attending us and wanting to be part of this. So
that carries over as well to guests and shows and people that like that. It's all an equal level. Obviously you bring in a Hollywood celebrity as a guest or something like that, but we treat the authors the same. We treat the paranormal people the same. Anybody that comes in, they get their billing right there on with everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
awesome.
More inclusive in that regard.
That's awesome. I don't know why this isn't going through. Saying my comment's not going through. Try again.
Comment?
I don't know why it's not. Did you see it? Do you see the link up there in the comments?
I see it in the comments.
I'm on my phone, so I don't see it coming through.
I can see
okay, so I see Paranormal Brew shared it, but I don't see BB3 TVs. Well, it's it. I'll just refresh it and then
what I have open just shows you 4.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what it is. It's Phantasm. I think it's because Phantasm Official, because I think it's official. Yeah, that's what the ones in the chat.
I see BB3 TV, Paranormal Brew.
You see BB3 TV too?
Yeah, I see it.
Oh, why does it tell me an error occurred? It's not showing it's gone through for any of them.
I could see them on the comments.
Okay,
yeah, good. I see them now. They're all commenting, saying they see.
Good. You see what I did there?
Just our luck. He's got the website down, working on something on the back end, and no one's going to be able to see it because that's happened before. People go to log on, and he's got it down so that he could add something on the back end in the code, and then it's like it's broken. It's like, oh, I know what's wrong.
There's been times I've actually worked with on the side of the back end when they got it down. I was like, or when he's doing something or he changed something, and I was like, yeah, let me send you some screenshots because this is coming out weird. Like we've done it because I used to test computer code when 20 years ago. So I was like, okay, this is like having a flashback to when I was younger.
Would it ever be possible for Phantasm to travel?
If we get big enough, we'll have to see. You know what I mean? Like you were saying about putting a different city down in the. It was something we talked about when we came up with Fantasm Orlando originally. Like, oh, that'd be good if it gets big and it goes to Vegas or it goes, something else, but we'll have to see. Like I said, we're a third year. We had to start over for the second year because we had to take that year off because of the pandemic. So then when we had our second year, it was essentially starting over. And that's essentially what we're doing somewhat this year because it's a new venue. Anytime you leave and go somewhere else, you have to adapt to the new challenges that are brought forward.
For sure.
And it could just keep growing every year. I mean, that's what I'm hoping to do with the paranormal side.
It sounds like it's growing, right? I mean, obviously you see numbers, you see ticket sales, and this and that. So it sounds like, and hopefully, you'll get on more podcasts, and shows and stuff, and maybe, spread the word out there to the paranormal community as well,
Because we told Bill, it's like, with Paranormal Row, if that, takes off, it could turn into the paranormal wing of the convention. And that's what we're trying to do with anything. I mean, the authors could take over their own section as well. If that gets big enough, so that, and the haunt as well. Maybe the haunt will grow and it'll be 5,000 square foot one year. You never know.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Now, and then you guys are like, wherever Phantasm at the haunt, you guys have, I guess, are going to do this together.
Yeah, they're a partner with us as well. Okay. They're their own company, their own thing that are partnered with us to bring it to Phantasm. So they cross advertise with us, and that's awesome. if it gets big enough and they want to continue to grow it, Courtney is our head of I guess what is it, interactive theming or whatever that department will be considered. So
there was actually a lot of cosplayers last year. I didn't expect. I didn't know that there would be that many at this type of, like horror. There was a lot of cosplay.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you have to get I'm going to throw another name out there and just, tell me to shut up if it's, but you, Jessica Felice.
Who is it?
Scream Queen. Jessica Felice.
Oh, yeah.
She does cosplay and she's amazing.
Well, it's amazing that you mentioned the cosplay and she does cosplay, because our first year we had Caroline Williams, who was Stretch from Texas Chainsaw 2 in 1985, and she did a costumed photo shoot as her character. And then it's amazing, these actors that have been doing this for years, Kane Hodder, Robert Englund, stuff like that, they're coming to the shows and suiting up, as their characters now for photo ops and things like that. And that's amazing to me because, they've done this 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and now they have their own suits that they bring, and they'll get decked out. You'll have a guy that played Michael Myers will bring a Michael Myers costume to do a photo shoot, and you can't see them anymore. They're in a mask and they're taking a picture. It's amazing that these actors are doing this now.
But they're doing it for the fans, though, like you said. I mean, it's for the fans. And I think
like,
it's amazing though that they would come to the show and volunteer to get hot and uncomfortable again for an hour at a time.
I guarantee you they love it.
I would think some
of them definitely loved it, but she had a better outfit than some of them wear too.
Right.
She had a lot less to wear.
At MegaCon they had Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes, from Clerks and everything. And
I love that.
They had photo ops where you could it was one price for photos with them together, and then another price for them together in costume as Jay and Silent Bob.
Right.
So it's the same thing. Yeah, they're starting to do like that whole.
Does he add the extra weight ons to get the Silent Bob?
The original.
I'd pay extra if he get like even a heavy jacket that made it look the same. I would do it in that case. Otherwise, no. You're wearing a trench coat. I can wear a trench coat.
Well, what was cool last year at Phantasm? What's funny is one of the people that I went down and actually got an autograph from when I took a few minutes was Diane Franklin. And I grew up with her movies, and I went down there, Better Off Dead and everything. And when I went down there, she was doing something where she had that coat, the coat and the hat that she wore in Better Off Dead. So either if you did an autograph and a selfie with her, either you could wear the coat or she had the coat on with her. And then all those pictures from the different conventions she did were put into her book about Better Off Dead. I just got it. I'm
Aw.
there from Phantasm.
Nice.
So, like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. She had the coat from it, you know.
Yeah, she'll let you wear the actual screen coat. It's crazy. And we had Bai Ling there last year from The Crow and Sky Captain World Tomorrow and all these other movies and stuff. And we actually built her the outfit, a reasonable facsimile of the outfit that she wore in The Crow. So she had the red hood. Shelley, did you work on that? Or I know
No. I
no,
did as much as I could for looking, but no, I believe, was it Yanni who made the hat?
Yanni made the hat, the
And
knit.
I think Michelle helped to find the other stuff.
Michelle found the other outfit, the bodice, the gloves, the skinny leather pants. I think she had everything but the shoes, but as far as I know. But I think Bai brought her own shoes that worked. But she was like, "Oh my God, you guys made this for me. It's so cool." So she did a photo ops as her character from The Crow and loved it. Had a great time.
That's so awesome. That sounds so awesome, guys. I'm so excited about this. Hopefully one day hopefully I'll get down. It's not like it's that far, you know. I have friends. I have somebody that lives in Orlando that I'm friends with, somebody in Tampa I'm friends with. So it's not like, you know, it's unreasonable for me to make it there one year.
You're up where? You're up where at? Where are you at?
Jersey.
Oh, you're in Jersey. That's right.
Then you're set to eventually come down here.
Yeah, right. Eventually,
Like,
whether you move or
I said I left to get away from the people in Jersey, and everybody I met here is from Jersey.
Well, I'm not coming there. No. I'm going to Gettysburg. I'll visit.
Don't worry, my coworker, he's lived here since maybe he was 11, and he goes up more to visit to New Jersey so often. I was like, "Aren't you just taking a weekend trip?" "Oh, I'm going to, you know, visit family, or I'm going to gamble." I was like, "You gamble down here? What's the difference?" It's a different, you know, everything. I was like, "Okay, maybe you guys."
Well, I mentioned I moved to Tennessee for 3 years, and when we went up there, everyone knew where. Oh, you went to Sarasota? I know Sarasota. And then when we come down here, well, where'd you move to Tennessee? Cookeville. I went to Cookeville. I used to live in Cookeville. It's amazing how you do that. You know, no matter where you're at, everyone knows.
Yeah, something.
The other place.
There's a connection somewhere.
Every time I've gone to a convention in a whole other state, somehow I will find a person that either knows me or comes from the same place or knows something common. Went to Chicago and I met the one person coming from Tampa. I met them 3 months later at a Tampa film festival event.
Oh, wow.
So it was like an indie film thing. So same with Dragon Con. I went there once. I'm in a hotel room party and I mentioned Port Richey where I live now. And like someone actually heard that. It's like, "Who said Port Richey?" I was like, "No one knows Port Richey. It's like nothing. It's like, you know, it's where old people live when they're like, can't afford to be in Tampa and they don't want to go in Sarasota."
No. Where did George's parents move to? Lake Boca Vista or whatever? Where is that? That's where they all moved to, that little community.
There's a bunch of little areas that you can see, especially with the prices of things going up. You can tell where people are going by, like every time you watch a housing show, everyone visiting.
Yeah.
Ocala, yes.
Hi, Darren.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, I've had you guys for an hour and 15 minutes, but it's been wonderful.
Well, thanks for having me.
You both
Thank
are awesome.
you.
You are awesome. Thank you so much for getting this. Bill put this together. You know, as soon as he mentioned this thing on my show, I'm like, Bill. I'm like,
you didn't even let Bill
come on.
Well, we hope you can make it down one year.
Yes, definitely.
In some capacity.
I would love to. Now, normally, August 19th to the 21st, there is a Gettysburg Battlefield Bash that goes on that I go to. So hopefully, if the dates work out, I definitely would love to come down. Orlando's not far. You know what I mean? The plane rides are cheap into Florida, so
yeah.
Hopefully right at the end. I know. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get to make it down. I thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing this with me. And
thank you for having us, and thank you, Bill, for setting it up like she said. Thank you,
no
Shelley.
Problem.
Yeah,
thank you.
I forgot to ask this, so I have to ask really quick, and I don't mean to open this back up, and we don't have to just yes or no or whatever. But do you guys go live at all during this stuff, like to show people, what goes on or anything like that?
There are press passes and stuff that we we vet people that apply for a press pass and things like that, and they usually are tweeting out constantly as well. We don't have anyone necessarily on staff that does it. I mean, well, we do, but they may be busy. But we might send out posts every once in a while. But I don't think we do like a live stream.
The only thing I could think of, and it's not necessarily us, it's more like, different groups like Monster Man, or they have their own.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, so we have lots of people. We're constantly being put up on feeds and things like that.
That's
Yanni
awesome.
and Mandy will do some things every once in a while. I've seen some posts go up.
I was trying, I just couldn't.
Yeah, and sometimes the Wi-Fi in those places isn't the best. So
yeah. Well, I will definitely share out anything you guys put up. I love it. I love everything you're doing, and I think it's awesome. And I wish you guys the best of luck. And I really, really hope it grows and grows and grows and grows. We have
the Facebook page, and we have an Instagram page, and we have the Facebook group as well.
Okay, cool.
Phantasm Orlando.
Phantasm Orlando.
Yep.
Phantasm. Phantasm. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
It's Friday night.
Yeah.
I'm drinking whiskey.
Right.
That's the problem.
Dr. Pepper here.
By itself.
Phantasm. Oh.
Yeah, by itself.
But thank you guys so much. And
thank you.
I would love to have you guys on again, and
Absolutely.
we should get on and we should probably have you on afterwards, and we can talk about how great the event went, and Bill, you come on too. And I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Shelley,
very much.
very nice meeting you both. And I look forward to meeting you in person.
Same here.
We tell those clowns and shit to stay away from me, though.
I can't promise that, because some of the punk guys, that his main costumes are lots of clowns. So maybe not so much in the theming this year, but I know his business, because that's what he does. He does costumes and things. Yeah. So lots of clowns.
They all choose.
Clowns are popular, man. They're popular.
Yeah, they are. That's because they're scary.
So you won't even watch it. You won't even watch the It movie. No,
I've never seen either.
Never seen either.
Nope. I'm good. Remember that one year? Remember, and then I don't know if it was just up here. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but there was just like these random people standing on the side of the road.
Yeah, we have them here, but they're like that all the time down here. That's the problem.
If that shit, I was like, I'm disclaiming this right now. I will run someone over because I've seen it in movies.
You know where you have to go, and it's a paranormal place, the Clown Hotel.
Oh, I'm not going there.
Look that up.
Look that up.
It's a known place where they go and investigate. The whole hotel is clowns, everything, the whole thing. It's great. It's a crazy, creepy looking place.
You would not catch me dead. You could go investigate there all day long and say, Taryn, where's Taryn's ghost at? No, you wouldn't catch me dead there. I wouldn't be there even in the afterlife. No way. Well, thank you so much, guys. I love you guys. Have a good night.
You.
Thank you.
Too.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.